Good morning and welcome to the 91 Day Business Spotlight Live. I'm your host, Jonathan Mast, and today I've got with me Bill Crawford from Rainmaker. And Bill's going to share with us a little bit about his business. If you're new catching our live stream and you're wondering, what in the world is this 91 Day Business Spotlight Live? Well, for 91 days, I'm going live 2 to 3 times a day with some of my favorite entrepreneurs, some who I've met like Bill and some who I've never met, but we're going to help promote their businesses by going live and showing how easy it is to pop on video and share. So, Bill, thanks so much for joining us today. Obviously, you and I have known each other now for a couple of years, but I'd love for you to share with our audience a little bit about Rainmaker, who you guys work with, and how you help make their lives better, if you would.
Jonathan, thanks for having me. Boy, that was a smooth intro. How you got all that information out without stuttering at all, very smooth. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for you on that one. Let's see. So we help basement waterproofing and foundation repair contractors grow and take their business to the next level. We do that through our strategies and systems of digital marketing and all different kinds of disciplines. Really passionate about what we do. And I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun.
Well, I have had the blessing to meet you and your team, so I know a lot of the people on your team and I know you guys do an amazing job for basement waterproofing and foundation repair companies. Talk to us a little bit about that's a very unique niche. How did you guys get into that niche, Bill? Did there something particular that drew you in, or what caused you to pick that as a niche to focus on?
Absolutely. I owned a basement waterproofing company for 15 years, and
Ah, okay.
yeah, I spent my own money learning and mastering the trade of internet marketing. I been for literally like 27 years, kind of been a lead flow junkie, and I when I owned my company, I had 55 employees at one time, and so you have to feed the machine. There's a lot of sales reps. We're in 5 to 9 full-time sales reps. We had canvassing departments. Gosh, I had 900 telemarketers work for me over those 1500 or 15 years.
Wow.
Dropped like 9 to 10 million mailers a year. Ran infomercials on HGTV. So 25 to 35 shows a year with big department doing that. So when the internet came along, imagine all the hustle that it took to create and run all that lead generation stuff. So when the internet came along, to think that you could just type stuff at a keyboard and create websites and landing pages and funnels and do stuff on Google ads and Facebook ads and on and on. Wow. Like I really fell in love with internet marketing. I hired the best coaches around. They're still phenomenal coaches. Perry Marshall kind of brought me into this business,
Hmm.
like what, 15, 14 years ago, and got really good at it. And so for a while, for 2 years, really, I was doing internet marketing and running my basement waterproofing company. And I kind of knew it was just going to be a matter of time before I opened the internet marketing company. I had a key employee who was in charge of scheduling, confirmation, and so on. I would make sure that he would join me with these many webinars that we learned from, and we kind of learned it together. He's still with me, which is fun. So
Absolutely.
that's how I got into internet marketing, and that's how I picked my niche as well. I when I talk to prospects and clients, like I know what they're dealing with. I understand the cynicism. I've been on the other side of the desk where people are trying to sell me stuff all the time. And because of that, and because I was a franchisee, so a
Okay.
franchisee, it involves a lot of reportings. So there's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly reporting. And I was in a franchise network that was just highly, highly managed. It was the opposite of what you typically see, where you get a month of training and you're on your own, just send your
Mhm.
royalty checks. This was kind of like a family, and it's like, what's going on with you today, and what are your priorities, and so on. So because I got really good at internet marketing, spending my own money, my first client was the franchisor, which was a thrill. And I didn't pursue him, just them really. They brought it up in a phone conversation, and um, I said, whoever's doing your internet marketing, they're not doing very well. I just want to let you know that. I had no intention of trying to hire them, so to speak. I didn't have a package or a plan. And he said, well, can you do better? I said, I know I can do better. So that was my first client. That's how I got involved with internet marketing, and that's why I picked the niche that I'm in.
Well, thank you for sharing the story, and a really compelling story it is, obviously, to hear that you know the business. And that, that brings a question that we get fairly often on these lives as we interview other agencies. And as you know, on my podcast, I tend to interview agencies as well. And one of the questions that always comes up, Bill, is why should they pick somebody in that specializes in their niche as opposed to picking a generalist agency to help them out? Can you help answer that question for our viewers as to, why is it important? Because I believe it is, but why is it important from your perspective to hire an agency who specializes in the type of business that you're running?
For sure. I talked to two prospects yesterday, very different places, and I was looking up one of them, and I said, "Hey, we spoke about a year or two ago." And she says, "Yeah, I know." And she says, like, "Well, my owners a few months ago hired like a generalist local agency." And I was like, "Oh, you should have like talked to me." And then she's like, "Oh, I tried to," and all that kind of stuff. I started asking her questions, and they're basically doing. They made a new website, and they're doing Google Ads, and so they have two
Mhm.
locations. And it's like, well, what's the plan for that second location? And she couldn't answer. And I said, "Oh, I can kind of tell you don't really have a plan based on your answer." She said, "Well, I have an answer. It's time. Over time we're going to rank higher." And I was like, that's not really a plan. Time's working for everybody else, and everyone else has probably been doing it, internet marketing, a whole lot longer than this new second location that you have. And I was like, we have a proven track record in this space to get your Google listing and your second Google listing to rank very, very high. And I could show you examples of our work. The big answer is all of our work. And by the way, I dabbled. We had an office in the suburbs of Chicago on a main street, in a fairly big suburb, and so it was fun for people to stroll in, and I could hear sometimes they'd have to sign a non-disclosure agreement because they had an idea that was going to change the world and they were going to make millions. Um, so it was fun to kind of do that. The downside when I dabbled with industries outside of basement waterproofing foundation repair is you have to put a lot of time and energy into researching the best practices, who are the leaders, what
Mhm.
strategies are they doing, why are they doing what they're doing, and that is very different than our entire team is always trying to perfect the existing systems only for basement waterproofing and foundation repair people. So the efficiency and the scalability, and the results that we can deliver doing something over and over and over again and always focus on getting better at it, I don't think compares to what a general agency can do at all.
Well, I absolutely agree with you on that. And having spent many years in my past in a generalist agency and trying to do our best, obviously, to service all our clients, and I think we did good because we kept many of those clients. I've seen that difference myself as the agency is specialized and the ability. What I think has been so interesting from my perspective, not only to add more value to our clients, which obviously is the ultimate goal, but also to add more value to our teams because we've seen our team become so much more adept and confident because they're not having to relearn every industry every time we get a new client. And it's allowing them to
Absolutely.
really do deeper dives to become even better experts at what their craft is. So, no, great
Absolutely.
explanation there. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, if we've got, I guess, a couple quick questions. Do you work with agents or with basement waterproofing and foundation repair companies in a particular area of the country, across North America? Who do you work with as far as geographically?
Sure. Interestingly enough, due to the ice age and how the glaciers came down and how they affected the land, the majority of waterproofers are in the East Coast and the Midwest. And there are some, west of the Mississippi River, but there's not a ton of them. The majority are in the Midwest and the East, and that's where the majority of our clients are.
Okay.
I'm very involved with the Basement Health Association, which is the industry for basement waterproofing folks, and the membership reflects that as well. So a lot of people they don't know that, but that's just how it is.
Yeah,
All of it.
that's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that either, but you're right. I now that you come to say that, I've lived in the Midwest my whole life, so I've been familiar with basements and don't really think of that, even though I travel. Right now I'm down in Alabama, and you're right, there aren't many basements down in Alabama. Just
Yeah,
totally unrelated. But you said that has to do with just kind of the way the glaciers came down and melted and what happened with all that geological
that's right.
formation then?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. And if you think about it, California has so much rock. Florida has
Hmm.
swampland. Texas has a lot of rock. But you do get like I would say Kansas City is like the biggest area for foundation repair. There's a lot of foundation repair folks there, and a lot of people will do peering. Some of the waterproofers will do peering just to kind of when you get a really dry season, it's a way to complement your business. So they are offering different things. But yeah,
Very
all over the
cool.
United States.
Well, that is a great information and a new tidbit I hadn't expected. So, Bill, if we've got a basement waterproofer foundation repair company, they're listening and they're thinking, I'd like to find out what Rainmaker could do for us. What does that process look like? Is it, if they want to just ask some questions and learn more about you, what's that process look like to them? What should they expect?
For sure. Yeah, I'm really passionate about just educating people as far as what their online presence is. I typically do a discovery call, which is 10-15 minutes, just kind of see if there's a fit, and even if there's not, sometimes I just will spend time with them. So then, if we take it beyond that, what our team does is we do quite a bit of research for somebody, and we prepare a report, and it's easily like 10 to 20 pages, and then I review that over Zoom with them to show them what their online presence looks like, what I see as their opportunities. I could show them examples of what we've done for other people, and I could offer our packages. And if it makes sense, if it's a fit, great, and if it's not, I hope they learn something that they could take with them, either work they could do for themselves or pass it along to an agency that they're working with.
I love that. And what's the best way for them to reach out and get in touch with you, Bill?
Sure thing. The website is Rainmaker for Contractors. The word Rainmaker, if anyone's in basement waterproofing or foundation repair, they understand what rain is. So it's easy to remember, Rainmaker for Contractors. And there's all sorts of ways to book an appointment with me. There's webinars, podcasts. There's a book I have. So it's pretty easy to get in touch with me. Here to help.
Fantastic. Well, Bill, I want to thank you for joining us today and sharing about that. I really appreciate your knowledge and some of the tidbits you shared. And I want to encourage you, as I mentioned, as we interview entrepreneurs and businesses here on the 91 Day Business Spotlight Live, some of them I know, some of them I've never met. Bill's someone I've known for a couple years now. We met through a mastermind group, and Bill's the real deal. So if you're looking for somebody that has great character, great skills, and understands the basement and waterproofing industry, reach out to Bill and his team and at least have a conversation. I'm confident it'll be worth your 10 to 15 minutes. So, Bill, thank you again. We really appreciate you, appreciate your time. And we want to thank our audience too. Whether you're catching us live now or you're catching the replay, we thank you for your views. And remember, we're doing 2 to 3 of these every single day for the next 91 days, 130 plus total. We've already got over half of those sessions are booked. So if you're a business owner and you'd like to be spotlighted, just like Bill was today, reach out in the comments, come to me, and I will get you a link and we'll get you scheduled. Bill, thank you again.
Thanks,
Have a wonderful
Jonathan.
day. All
You
right.
too.
Bye-bye.